I have been in the television industry for the past 10 years, and it has been a journey. And I could literally be here and spend all day telling you guys about my experiences and teaching you guys stuff I learned. So I don't have the time for that, so I decided to boil this down into a few keys, 3 keys to success in the television industry. So the first key to success in the television industry is always be in a state of learning. Always be adapting, because television is always changing. It's always changing quickly. It's always adapting to new technologies, and if you don't adapt to them, it will leave you behind. The next key to success in the television industry is a bit cliche. It's something everyone's heard. It depends on who you know. It sounds kind of shady, it sounds kind of like nepotism, but it literally just means you have to continually network to succeed in the television industry. The thing is, everyone knows about those top 2, those first 2. Everyone in the industry is already applying those to their work in the television industry. But in my back pocket here, I have another key to success, and that is time has value, and it is often seen as currency. Now, especially if you're a recent graduate, you'll be competing with people with much more experience than you. You'll be competing with people with 10 to 20 years of experience going for positions all over the map. And if you really want to succeed, the only thing you have to offer that they don't is time. Time is seen as currency, and you don't have any other type of currency to offer. So, by going the extra mile and providing them with more time, you can get more opportunities. So, as I don't trip here. So, if you really want to succeed, you got to put in the extra time. I can think of hundreds of examples of how I put in extra time to get opportunities, but my favorite example is this one. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Telly Award, and if you guys don't know what that is, this is basically the bronze to the Emmy as the gold. I got this in 2009 when I was granted the opportunity to executive produce my own television show. And I would not have gotten the opportunity to get this if I hadn't put in the extra time. I would never have been noticed if I wasn't staying extra hours and staying late at local television stations helping out. But I got this award, and some of you may see this as a paperweight, but every time I see it, I am reminded of how much time I had to sacrifice. Because in 2009 and 2010, I was a full-time student and working part-time jobs, so I literally was sacrificing all of my free time to get that guy. Thank you very much. It's also helped me out in a lot of other ways. It's been a head-turner on my resume. It's allowed me to get more opportunities, one of which is another one of my favorite examples. In 2013, I worked on a Tribeca Best in Show winner, Bridegroom, and at the time I was a post-production PA, and I was able to leapfrog into more of an assistant editor role by putting in extra time. The editors were not willing to stay overnight, but I was. So I got the opportunity to do that. But at the time, it was very difficult because, again, I was a full-time student. So I would literally work overnight and leave the studio in the morning, go to the bathroom on the lot, wash my face, then get in a car and drive to class. This went on for weeks, but I survived. I made it. And this project was an enormous success, as I mentioned earlier. It was award-winning, but it's also recognized and all over the industry. So it's another head-turner on my resume, and I'm very proud to have achieved that as well. But thank you. But as I mentioned, time is currency, and And the reality about time is you only have so much of it. And this was no more clear to me than when this happened. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not my kid. This is my nephew. And I was not there to see the birth. Now, I wasn't going to watch it. That's my sister, guys. Come on. But I wasn't there to support her in this time. And in fact, I was so booked for so long, I didn't get to meet this little guy until about 6 months because I was so busy. And I couldn't get on a flight back home to the Bay Area to meet him. And it really shook me up when I realized what I had missed. But I caught it in time and corrected my habits. Because at the time, I was working so hard and working so many hours that I realized my health was not what it should be. I was not sleeping, I was not eating, because I was dedicated all of my time to the productions I wanted to work on. So I realized that I had to reorient my life and literally go back to the chalkboard. So I decided once I graduated from Cal State Northridge, I would move home. And thank goodness, right away I got a job as a video editor and continue to work in the industry to this day. But instead of dedicating all my free time to productions and freelance work, I decided to create a balance in my life. I decided to have time for family and have time for me. And I started to reconnect with my friends, and my life was starting to come together. And when you guys are thinking about this key, everyone, time has value is often seen as currency. Don't forget, time is the most valuable thing to yourself. If you don't have enough time for you, you're putting off a lot of things, like we saw before, family, and like I mentioned, health. But also, if you're so focused on your goals, you might miss other important things in your life. So, as you're a student at Milpitas High School, or if you're a student anywhere else, or in college, if you haven't really thought of this yet, it's never too late to reorient your life. You may be really focused on your goals and your aspirations, but don't forget about yourself. Just think about where your time can be best spent and where you're most fulfilled. Thanks, everyone.